in Africa. A lot of them diseases came down from Europe through the Black Plague, the Dark Ages, when they were not washing their asses for hundreds of years.
They really historically didn't wash up. That's a fact.
I know that.
Yeah.
We taught them how.
So not only that, but also they were sleeping with animals. And the way that the white man looks now, historically, that's not what he looked like. So we know the white man to be like this. That's what we think he always looked like. But that's not what he looked like. He looked more like this. This is more what he looked like right here. You see all the hair that he has on him? It's kind of like a sloth. You know, if you know anything about sloths, they have bugs and mites and insects and, you know, parasites in their fur.
But I want to call out the hypocrisy of Black America when it comes to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Because prior to former Vice President Kamala Harris receiving the Democratic Party nomination, Black people were adamant against the genocide of Palestine. When Kamala Harris received the Democratic Party nomination, when she backed Israel, not a single Negro said a word. That is hypocrisy. Don't run around telling people to stand up for Palestine and do this and do that and do this and do that. And soon when Kamala Harris endorses Israel, nobody said nothing.
That's crazy.
Your principles cannot be conditional.
Yeah.
If they're conditional, they're not principles. Now, with that being said, I got to say this, because I've been going back and forth with different people in our community and outside of our community about the fact that I don't publicly stand for Palestine. I publicly stand for righteousness and fairness.
Right.
So I'm against the genocide.
Period.
But Dr. Umar is not taking time out of Dr. Umar's life to fight for the Palestinians, because I haven't finished fighting for the Haitians. I'm not finished fighting for the Congolese. I'm not finished fighting for the Ethiopians. I'm not finished fighting for the Somali. Don't you ever ask me as a Pan-Africanist to go and fight for the struggles of another race when my people are still hurting. And we as Black people have put ourselves into this condition, Mona, this corner where every group feels that we are obligated to stand for them when they go through their crises, but nobody is obligated to stand with us.
Is that from slavery?
Hey man, I agree with the brother. I am going to disagree on some of the things that he said, but I just want to say that, you know, I appreciate Dr. Umar. I love Dr. Umar. You know, as a man, I don't really have nothing to say. I hope the brother builds a school. I'm rooting for the brother. You know, he's a big reason why I've gotten in the direction of life that I am today. So, but I definitely agree with this brother right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't, at the moment, wish genocide on nobody. You know, when I see the kids all jacked up, bloody and dead, and the parents crying, you know, of course I feel a kind of way, because only a monster couldn't feel something. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, my people still need help. You know, ain't no one helping us. You know, 19 million babies murdered in the womb. You know, and if we're talking about all over the world, not just talking about the United States, look what they did. And you can say, hey, that's on them, but look what they did with the men in Ecuador, right? How they locked all the gangbangers up. El Salvador. And now they are have them berating themselves, showing tattoos, having to confess what they did, and letting other nations come into the jail, right? And look at them as if they're a spectacle. You know what I'm saying? Like, my people all over the world need help. So I don't got time to talk about Palestine. I don't got time to fight and march for them. For what? You know, I hate what's going on, you know, but that's how the white man is. They're just getting some of the brunt of the white man. That's it. But, you know, for hundreds of years, including the present time, we've been getting it. So our fight ain't over yet. So we can't leave the battlefield to go help out another, not even an ally, just another victim of the white man. Can't do it.
Part of it is slavery. A big part of it is slavery, and this is what I mean by that. We are always looking for acceptance because we've been kept out so long.
Yeah, it feels like
This
that.
is why we date outside the race. We want acceptance. This is why we move into other people's neighborhoods. We want acceptance.
Well,
This is
wait
why
a
we send our
minute.
kids to
Wait,
black
wait.
colleges, white colleges. We
I
want
just feel
acceptance.
like I burnt it out. Like I want to try because I've ran through it. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, though. Power is concentrated, right? Power is concentrated. How do you build black power if black people don't even want to live next to each other?
Damn.
Are we playing the long game or are we playing the short game?
Right.
Because if you playing the long game, black people got to live next to black people or you don't get black power.
Man, that's how you know if you really like your people is if you live around them. You know, I've been blessed, you know, to make some pretty good money. I live amongst my people. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to go far out into the hills and to the suburbs, and I'm not trying to do that. I live in the hood with everybody else, and I'm okay with that. It ain't no thing for me. It's still expensive to live in this mud, so that ain't like it's a huge deal. But I like going to the store, seeing my people at the cash register, seeing my people shopping. I like seeing people, my people having businesses. You know what I'm saying? Now it's not a huge amount of us, but where I live at, they do have businesses. I can walk to a black business and spend my money. Okay, so I'm with them on that. You know, you don't really love your people if you trying to get away. Now, if you are a freaking, you know, billionaire, millionaire, and you are famous, then you might not be able to, because sometimes living with black folks, you know, they start to hating and start getting violent and shit like that. You gotta protect you and your family. So it might not be an option all the time, but as a normal black person making under 7 figures, you can live where black folks is at. Might not gotta live in the hood, but they got adjacent cities where, you know, you can find yourself there. So anyway.
So they're like me. I'm a little late in life. We don't gotta discuss the number.
Why women always care about that? Like, say how old you are. It's not a huge deal. I mean, either you attractive or you ain't. It don't matter how old you are.
Now, me getting with somebody, I ain't making no children. You know what I mean? I'm not going to
You're
marry
still young
a
enough to
nigga.
have babies, though. You're not
I
done.
am, but I meet some white guy. That's not where we taking it. We just dating. That's still going against the movement as black people moving us up. Me dating outside my race, even if it's
You're
just
dating outside your race now?
No, I never have. I've never dated anybody besides a black man. Yeah,
About to say.
I'm asking if even dating without marriage and without making babies, is that the same thing where it's
the
like
same.
not with our advancement?
It's the same, because here's the thing.
Now, this is what I wanted to get to. Yeah, I want to get to this part again. I appreciate Dr. Umar. Nothing bad to say about him. It's just ideologies we're gonna differ from. So here we go.
I walk down the street with a white woman. The little black girl don't know if I'm going to marry her or not.
Facts.
The little black girl don't know if I'm going to impregnate her or not. The little black girl don't know if she a baby mom or a fiance. But what that little black girl can see, Dr. Umar is more invested in this white woman than he is in a black woman. And that's a problem. And that's going to hurt her self-esteem. We have to...
Woo! I don't know if I got that from him, because I've been watching him for 15 years, since Hidden Colors 1. That's when I found out about him. When Hidden Colors 1 came out, that's when I found out about him. So I might have got it from him, but I do believe that when you are holding hand in hand with a white woman or a white man, your children automatically think that they're not good enough. The daughter is gonna say, oh, my skin not light enough. Oh, my hair not long enough, straight enough. Oh, I don't speak a certain way. How am I gonna ever find a man? My daddy don't even like black girls. So who am I? Who am I gonna find? You know what I'm saying? And then they might have to go start thinking, oh, let me go get a white woman because black people ain't good enough. My own daddy didn't even think they were good enough. Then the boy. My own daddy didn't even want no black woman. Why do I want a black woman? Those are things that are gonna have to be addressed when you dating outside your race. And it can't be fixed because you still holding hands with her. Meanwhile, your children look like you, but then you want to invest and make the white woman or white man dreams come true. Who gonna make their dreams come true? Why should they have to get picked when their own parent didn't want to pick who they are?
Look at the example that we are putting out for our children. If they don't see black love, why would they want it?
Have you ever?
Never dated outside my race.
Not even you.
I've dated two Puerto Rican Africans until I realized that they no longer wanted to be African.
What's a Puerto Rican?
I've had white
Wait a
girls.
minute.
I've had white girls being attracted to me all through college.
You attractive.
All through college, white girls. I knew.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't date her, but I did have relations with a white woman one time. It felt like being with the enemy. So I'm being honest with you, yo. That was not no victory. It wasn't a goal that I've reached. It wasn't a high achievement. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was very low. Now, this is before I, heard about Dr. Umar and the whole pro-black movement and stuff, but she was just all up on me, so I was like, whatever, let's just whatever. I ain't gay, so I wasn't just pursuing it, but she wanted it. But it definitely is a low point in my life, I would have to say. It was like a betrayal, you know what I'm saying, of my people. So I wouldn't recommend it for nobody.
For some of them, they wanted me because they wanted to see if I was really what I say I was. You could feel it in them. Like, if I can get him to clap these cheeks, I can get any black man to clap these cheeks. So I can tell when it's genuine, and I can tell when they're trying to test King Kong.
Right.
Now, I did have a Mexican woman when I was in college, but I consider them with the same people. You know what I'm saying? We just from a different tribe. There is no separation for me. You know what I'm saying? That's the same people. I didn't know that at the time, but it definitely didn't feel like the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like the white woman felt like the enemy for the show. We all make mistakes, Joe. We just gotta go forward and live life the way it's supposed to be lived. We can't worry about the past. I'm never trying to pretend as if I ain't never did nothing. We all make mistakes, and we're gonna make mistakes. So I'm not one of them that act like, oh, you did something wrong in the past. You can't. Nah, we all laugh.
See what I'm saying?
King Kong.
But I tell people like this: if I ever sleep with a white woman, she not going to her grave without the world knowing that. I don't see a white woman taking that secret. Can you see that? Yeah. I don't see a white woman taking that secret to her grave. If I ever clap pale, flat cheeks, the world will know. I want black power. I want black power. I want Martin and Malcolm. I want Nelson Mandela. I want Huey. I want George Jackson. I want Bunchy Carter. I want Thomas Sankara.
I think you gotta put pause on that one. I don't really say pause, but he throwing a lot of men names. I probably shouldn't say that. I probably shouldn't say that. Woo, my bad.
So you said you said Puerto Rican African. So you never slept with half white, half black.
No, mixed race is fine. Mixed race is fine. If a sister got a white mother and a black father, or a black mother and a white father, that's black. Fine. If she identifies as black full time.
Right. Nah. And that's where we're going to differ. I agree with him on everything else he said, but you are what your father is. When you read Numbers 118, it tells you that you are what your father is. Okay? So if she has a white mama and a black dad, cool. She black. But if she has a white father and she has a black mother, she is white. And we're not talking about your skin color. Skin color doesn't matter. They got black folks that look white. And I'm telling you, they got white folks that look black. Okay? So it's not about skin color. It's about your lineage, your bloodline. Where do you come from? And you are what your father is according to the Bible. Okay? We can't go off of men because men got 50 different categorizations of race and then over 100 different categories of gender. So we're not gonna go off of what men got to say, all right? We're gonna go off of what the Lord got to say, and that's it. But no, absolutely not. If she got a white father, she white. Period, point blank. And a lot of these mixed kids, they're not grounded as far as mentally and spiritually, you know what I'm saying? They be a little off, you know what I'm saying? They don't really be all there. It's like they don't really understand the condition of the battle. It's they trying to, toe the fence, and you can't trust no one like that.
See that? Yes. It's not just enough to be biologically black. You got to be psychologically black. If you don't identify, I don't accept you. You feel me?
Have you went down?
I don't care if you identify or not. Rachel Dolezal identified. She's a white woman. Okay? I don't care if you identify or not. Because for one, if you are black and you don't really identify, your father is black, but you kind of light and you over there playing in the white pool, you can repent and you can come back over. You know what I'm saying? We all have sometimes acted foolish because that person just ain't got their white person wake up call or they black wake up call. They've been over there asleep with the white folks, and then when the white folks get up and start looking around, they be like, "Who are you, nigga? Why is your nigga bones in my pool? Get your heavy nigga bones out my pool, nigga." And then she gonna be trying to go back to the HBCUs and all this stuff. She gonna be trying to act as if now she wanna be black. And it's fine. It's fine. You can, everybody gotta get that wake up call. I had mine at 6. I was in a white neighborhood. The white boys ganged up on me and said, "Nigga, you can't play here." I said, "You can't play," in my face. They didn't give a fuck how old I was. "Nigga, you can't play." Nigger. They was on it hard. All right. They was on it hard with that ER. And I had to wake up call. It was at like 5 or 6, something like that. But they just ain't had it yet. But it doesn't matter.
That road though.
Oh, I've dated plenty mixed race sisters.
Okay.
And many of my ancestors have dated mixed race. Martin Delaney, the grandfather of Pan-Africanism, his wife was a mixed race African.
Okay.
See, on the plantation, because we knew that we had no control over how we came into this world because the master could cohabitate with any woman he wanted to. We never rejected the offspring because they had no control over how we got here. Right. This whole, I don't mess with black people if they got a white.
They didn't reject the offspring because they was light skinned. You're not gonna, at that time, you're not gonna reject the light skin because you think that they're better than you because they're closer to massa, okay? You read books on it, the light skinned ones, they were the ones that everyone else looked up to because they had some power, you know what I'm saying? They got to sleep in the house with the white man, or they had a nice little outhouse or what do you call that, a shed, I guess, nicer than the ones that the rest of the Negroes got. But one thing I want the black folks to stop doing is stop giving the white man so much power here. The white man did not rape everyone and had all these babies, okay? That's not what happened. This nigga, his sperm does not negate the black man's sperm. The black men was still having sex with the women, okay? Everyone was not, because you light skinned don't mean you was mixed with massa blood. And just because your grandmother told you so also don't mean it, because a lot of our people would tell our children things that we wish were true. A lot of people that say, oh, I'm mixed with Native American. They wish they was mixed with Native American. Oh, we got some white on our family. They wish they had some white on their family. You understand that? There's a lot of rumors that go on in, let's say, people that come from the turn of the century. A lot of rumors come from those people that grew up like that because they wished, or they trying to get a one-up on their own people. Oh, my grandmother was white. Oh, my great-great-grandmother was Native American. They don't want to say that they come from slavery, okay? They don't want to say that they just a regular Negro. And that's a problem in our community. I don't give a damn. I don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a so-called black man. I don't go into, oh, what if the massa had whooped and raped my great-grandmother and then they had a son, and I'm not doing all that, all right? Shit. I'm in the ghetto, in the slums. I grew up poor, broke, hungry, uneducated. I'm a Negro, period. I know where I come from. There ain't no, oh, maybe I got this in my blood, Irish, and no one cares about none of that.
White parent, that doesn't have a long lineage in our history.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In fact, in the Pan-African movement, and we're the oldest political ideology of black people, we've never cut off mixed race Africans.
Right.
Some of my greatest heroes were mixed race Africans. There's even an argument, which we'll never be able to sustain, that the prophet Nat Turner, the greatest revolutionary to ever walk on American soil, his mother might have been a white man. Oh, we gonna cancel Nat Turner?
What? I mean, I know that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these are myths that, in order to say Nat Turner was better than everyone else, his mama had to be raped by a white man. We give the white man too much power when it comes to this. A lot of them children that the white man had did not last. A lot of them, the babies died, miscarriages. They died because they couldn't get no breast milk, couldn't get fed. There's a lot of things that happened with them babies. They wasn't just, thriving on the plantation and then still having babies, and now that's how we all mix. That's not how it happened.
I guess it's so new that I don't remember that in my teens or like early 20s where it's like, you're not black just because,
right.
Your mother. Because the thing on Twitter was like, if your mom's white, then...
I'm not into that.
Right, but this is what I will say though. You know how the white girl, she might have a baby and get that asymmetrical bob, and he do her a little dirty, and then she go back home, so that next baby got that straight hair, and then she has another one that got that straight hair. Now when they go to the pool, one of them look real ashy because she don't know how to shea butter her up and get her hair together, but she's the one black one, but now the mom is with a white man, so the whole house is white. Culturally, that's a white girl.
One of the biggest reasons why, to your point, one of the biggest reasons why I don't think black men should date out the race is if it doesn't work out with that white woman. To your point, there's no greater trauma for a black girl than to be raised by a white woman, scorned by a black man who don't know how to take care of black girls. You feel me? Because I've dated mixed race sisters who had white mothers and their mother didn't know how to take care of them. I had one mixed race sister. She was in the Garvey movement. Gorgeous. She told me how her white relatives would make fun of her and her siblings in front of her parents. Right. You follow me? It was like N-word right in front of them. Barack Obama talked about
N-word?
this. Yeah. Barack Obama talked about how he heard the N-word growing up with his grandparents. Because the one thing we fail to realize is a mixed race African, if they're conscious, can understand racism better than you and I. Because when they go home, they get the real white person.
Right.
You feel me? Work is over. This is my house. Yeah. So if I want to call black people the N-word, I'm going to call black people the N-word. You see that? They get the real white racists.
And they scary.
We don't get the real white racists.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what they said originally about, the children. I think it's 100% important for black men to protect your seed. Period, point blank. Whether that's from an angry black woman or from a cantankerous white woman. Whatever it is, you need to protect your seed. Stop impregnating just any old thing because you get too excited, okay? Stop letting your soul glow in every single piece of coochie out there and protect your seed because they're gonna grow up and they're gonna possibly be abused. They're gonna possibly be mistreated. You understand that? It doesn't matter if it's even your own people, because black women will mistreat that child because he looked like you. And the white people are gonna mistreat that child because he reminds them of you. They don't know nothing about no chocolate, buttermilk, butterscotch, caramel skinned little nigga. They didn't grow up with that. That ain't what they produce. But here you are, wanted to jump into a hate family, get into it with your enemy and make babies. And now they gotta grow up with cousins talking about them, talking about their hair, the shows they like, the clothes they wear. But in actuality, they want to be like her. They want to be like the culture that she comes from. But she's gonna feel like a minority, which is why the word, we gotta stop calling ourselves minorities, because the word minority means a loser. Okay, it means you are a loser. I'm not a minority. You understand that? I am the most plentiful people on the earth. I'm not a minority. But she's gonna feel like she's a minority because she's around nothing but white folks, because you, for whatever reason, probably not gonna get her. Not gonna have her full time. You understand? Because, I mean, can a man really teach his daughter to be a woman? No. So you're probably gonna let her be over there most of the time. So she's gonna be learning from those cousins, okay? From the other siblings that white woman might have. And she's gonna start feeling as if she's not adequate. She's not gonna feel as if she's the leader or the best thing on the planet, because she don't see herself like that. There won't be no images like that. They're not gonna watch no black movies. They're not gonna take her to go see Dr. Umar. You understand that? They're not gonna teach her that Christ is black. You understand that? That ain't what she gonna see. She not gonna see the angels is black and Moses is black and the people of the Bible is black. She ain't gonna see that. She gonna see what, like Cat Williams said, white. That everyone she gonna see gonna be white. When she look in the mirror, she gonna wonder why am I not white? Why is my hair not like a dog hair? Why is my face not transparent where you can see the blood through there? How come I don't look like a ghost? She's gonna start thinking that the worst of the people are the best of the people, all because you didn't want to protect your seed. All you wanted to do is sow your royal oats. And now your child has to suffer with your enemies because you couldn't realize who they were to you.
We get that smile on your face, act like I like you at work. Go home, you the N-word. They get the real cracker at home. You see what I'm saying? Right. So they tend to understand racism better than we do. The problem is they're so traumatized by it that a lot of them don't want to accept their black identity.
And that's the problem right there. So they don't really understand it because they're not trying to accept that I am in enemy territory. I'm a citizen. They still wondering why I'm not accepted nowhere.
Okay.
In this state, this is a place where the first police officer arrested.
Oh, like Sussex County, you saying?
I'm talking about Newcastle County.
Okay,
I'm talking about Delaware. I'm talking about all the way down to, what's the county for Dover?
Kent County,
Kent
Sussex.
County. The state trooper down in Kent County kicked the guy in his
Kent,
head while he has his cuffs on, gave him permanent brain damage. He was a state trooper, never went to jail. It's a boy around the corner from here. He was in a wheelchair. His name was Bam. I think he was yelling loud, whatever. They shot him, said he had a gun. I knew Bam's mother. He didn't have a gun. He murdered him in a wheelchair. These officers were never jailed. That's just not something that happens here, right? It's slower here. And we did that rally. It was one of the most, I have never felt, I told people because I walked there and back because it was so much going on that I felt tall. I felt like I was 7 foot tall when I was walking through the crowd. And it was scary. I never get nervous doing comedy, but I was like nervous to do it. My voice was shaking, but it was huge, right? We walked through the ghetto, right? And I walked past all my people, right? But it was all white people. Majority of that crowd was white people. And that was like hard for me. Like seeing it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I'm walking through the trenches, and in trenches, what happens? You know what happens.
Yes.
So that's when I'm walking through the worst of the worst, how hard it get for us, right? But I'm walking through with white people to get to our cars, like that shit with me. And it also with me whether I should trust this support or not. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know why you want to trust it at all. I mean, it almost as if she would be at home because that blonde hair looked like Becky. So I'm not sure what she means by she felt uncomfortable because she looked like where she would want to be at with the white folks. When I see women that got blonde hair like that, it makes me feel as if mentally they have a disorder of some sort. But yeah, I mean, yeah, let's keep going.
Right.
I thought half of them was cops. I thought I was tripping.
And
I thought they all had
been
earpieces. Some of them had earpieces. I say that. Some of them was police.
Yeah.
But the bulk of them were just
Well,
damn.
remember, it came out that the FBI was paying informants to disrupt Black Lives Matter protests
And plant bricks.
during the George Floyd protests.
Yeah, and they planted bricks and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a fact. I know.
Remember, Dr. King's march he was murdered in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI used informants. The fights that started during the Dr. King march, those was FBI plants. That's why you got to know who you struggling with. You just gonna run out there and march with Negroes.
Right.
Because you could be marching with an army full of FBI informants. Now let's talk about Black Lives Matter itself. BLM was founded by a group of grassroots brothers and sisters, right? In Michael Brown's city. What was the name of that town?
Is that St. Louis? Where was
Right
that?
outside of St. Louis. Ferguson, Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter was started by a group of grassroots Africans. The sisters who founded the official BLM and incorporated it, they were opportunists because they stole that from the
The
grassroots.
bitch had the mansions.
And they turned it into a bourgeoisie thing, and they got funded by George Soros, who's a population control junkie. So why would a population control junkie, aka eugenicist, be interested in funding Black Lives Matter?
Right.
Because the founders of
Eugenics
BLM,
is the blue eye thing, right?
yes, it is the systemic reproduction of the master race.
We gonna need words down here for
Eliminate
niggas. This
the
shit getting
Caucasians.
college level.
Eliminate the blacks, reproduce the Caucasians. That's eugenics, right? Based on the belief that African people are intellectually inferior to Caucasians and should be bred out of existence.
Right.
Right? Hitler's whole theory was
Hitler's
based
whole
on
thing,
eugenics.
yes.
Eugenics came from a white psychologist, Francis Galton, London, England. He came up with the idea of eugenics.
Okay.
Right? So psychology gave birth to white supremacy, which is why when people come.
Right. So the white gene is recessive. So he cannot wipe us out unless he also kills all the men. But why would he kill all the men if those are the workers? Okay? He cannot taint all of black folks, okay? There wasn't that many white people, okay, that owned slaves that was sleeping with them, all right? It just wasn't. That's why we ain't all walking around with no blue eyes, okay? Even though that comes from us anyway. But the point is, we're not walking around with these recessive genes. We walking around with the dominant genes because the white man cannot kill us off sexually without killing the man physically, all right? It just ain't gonna happen.
Complain about black people not going to get mental health. Why would I go to the same devils who cause my people's problems to fix mine? Now stay with BLM. The three sisters who founded it, I think it was three, I believe they were all lesbian, allegedly, all lesbian, right? The reason George Soros funded them is because since they were all lesbian,
population control. Okay.
The BLM's job was to hijack leadership of the black grassroots movement away from heterosexual leadership to LGBTQ leadership. They wanted to redirect black youth away from heterosexual orientations towards grassroots struggle into LGBTQ orientations towards grassroots struggle. In other words, we want to put the gays in charge of the black agenda as opposed to the heterosexual.
You know, the crazy thing is, a lot of black folks either don't know or don't care about that agenda. It's on the website. I wonder if we can still go on the website and see. Let's see real quick. All right, so it looks like they updated the website, okay? But where they started from, I had to go to the history, the Wayback Machine. I ain't just making this up, and I want y'all to see it. All right. So I'm in the About Us section. All right. And we're going to just jump to it. It says it goes beyond the narrow nationalism that we prevent within black communities, which merely call on black people to love black, live black, and buy black, keeping straight cis black men in the front of the movement, while our sisters, queer and trans and disabled folk, take up roles in the background or not at all. Black Lives Matter affirms the lives of black, queer, and trans folk, disabled folk, and black undocumented folk, folks with records, women, and all black lives along the gender spectrum. It centers those that have been marginalized within black liberation movement. It is a tactic to rebuild the black liberation movement. It is a tactic. It is not the goal. It is a tactic. You understand? They're gonna use the cis. Where is it at? They're gonna use the cis black men, as in the straight black men and us getting shot down in the street, in order to push these agendas, okay? When we say Black Lives Matter, we are broadening the conversation around state violence to include all the ways which black people are intentionally left powerless at the hands of the state. We are talking about the ways in which black lives are deprived from our basic human rights and dignity. How black poverty and genocide is state violence. How 2.8 million black people are locked in cages in this country is a state of violence. How black men bearing the burden of relentless assault on our children and our families is a state violence. That's fine. How black, queer, and trans folk bear a unique burden from hetero patriarchal society that disposes us like garbage. Okay, I'm telling you. And there's another update. If I went to another update on their website, you would see how they don't even mention the violence of black folks. It just says we're just here to push the black, queer, and trans agenda and to disrupt the how do they put it? But today's family structure to look more queer. It's on their website. Probably if I went to 2020, it would probably show me that. I just wanted to show y'all something real quick. That the Black Lives, that what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying is on the website. This was on their website, blacklivesmatter.com, and the About section. Now, of course, you have to go into the history to find it, but it's been there. This is old news. It's 2025 now. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a movement that was more powerful back then. You know, so I just wanted to show y'all.
It was about population control and re-engineering.
Now listen,
but it failed because they got exposed too soon by black people to be hustlers of the money.
About that bread.
Yes.
Yeah. Now for me,
and really quick, really interesting about this, right? They raised millions upon millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. I never heard about them getting an IRS audit. They may have, but I ain't heard about an IRS audit.
Nobody went to jail.
The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, we hadn't reached $1 million and we got audited. So when I saw the BLM thing, I say something funny. How are they not being audited?
Right.
And they raised tens of millions of dollars. We ain't got $1 million in the IRS that already ran down on us. Something to be said about that.
Yeah, for sure. I have a question though for you. So there's some people that will heard some of that, what you said, right?
Yes.
And they would think that that was something like a conspiracy.
That's a fact, though.
What you
It's
said
a fact that George Soros funded them. It's a fact that he's a population control junkie. It's a fact that BLM was founded by 3 lesbians.
Right.
Now you can debate whether or not the purpose of them being funded by white interest groups was for something other than taking away the leadership of the black grassroots struggle away
Right.
from heterosexual leadership to homosexual leadership. But can we just...
No, you can't, because I just showed you that on the website. Let's
use common sense? You have a movement led by 3 lesbians funded by a population control junkie. It's only one way you taking this. Away from heterosexuality into the sexual confusion. And then once you get the attention of the young
You say sexual confusion?
Sexual confusion.
Okay.
From an African cultural
Okay.
perspective, same-sex relationships don't fit within our cultural reality. I'm not demonizing nobody.
Okay.
I'm not canceling. I'm not disqualifying.
Okay.
I'm simply saying, as African people, those are not lifestyles that our ancestors practiced or ever considered to be healthy for us. A big problem.
okay, fine. But when you say Africans didn't practice it, that ain't true. The Egyptians practiced it. You understand? That's why you have the sister and brother, was it Horus and Isis or Osiris or whatnot? They was sleeping together. You had incest going on in the Egyptian culture. And I'm sure that ain't the only one. It's a reason why it tells you not to do that in the Bible. Because we was doing it. The white man didn't come up with nothing, man. The white man just copied what we was doing and then did it back to us, all right? We was doing all this stuff before he was here. He is not just as all-powerful and creator and of anything, okay? We were doing it. Now, a lot of us might not have a lot of us might not have been doing it, but we was doing it, all right? And let me just say, we're not the Egyptians, but when he talks about the African people, yes, they were doing it, okay? The Negroes of America, the captivities, they're not African, all right? But we still had a history of doing it. So let's not be naive here, because that's how people start thinking it's maybe safe to let children be with people alone with other kids or whatever. Nah, everybody need to be watched, because we wicked too.
What we have as black people is part of one of the negative collateral damages of integration. We pick up everything from the enemy. Am I wrong? Whatever white folks do, we got to do it.
You saying that we picked up homosexuality from
You damn right. Do you know that black men were being on the slave plantations?
Yes, I do.
They were, but they got that from us when we ran Europe. Because black people, I'm hoping that y'all have known this by now. When black people ran Europe, we was running it wickedly, okay? We were doing all the things that the white folk do to us now, we were doing to them. How they dress up as blackface, we was dressing up as whiteface. How they was torturing us, we was torturing them. Everything that we did, they picked up. And after the Black Plague, when all the black folks got wiped out and the white men took over, all they did was do what they saw their masters do. We were the masters. They were the slave. That's where the term slave comes from, is the word Slavic. The Slavic people were slaves. Okay? The white folks were slaves. We were the masters. We were the kings. We were the nobles. You understand that? We ran Europe. We ran the whole world at one point, but the point is they served under us. And when they saw us die, all they knew was what we taught them. Just like we know Christianity because the Massa was a Baptist, the Massa was a Lutheran, the Massa was a Catholic. So that's what we know. It was the same thing. Even Christianity doesn't come from white people. We invented that. And they took it and flipped it in the 1600s to even something that's even worse or more bastardized than what we had it. The Knights Templar, these are black people. These are black people ruling in that society. The Moors, a lot of the kings that we hear about, that like the Tudors is black folks. They were not white folks. Okay? White folks they was not just ruling. They didn't really come into power till like 18 something. You know, just wiped out all the black folks out of power. It's about 1800, 1850 or something like that. They was not just ruling from the 1400s. We was ruling with them. It was a battle. It was a war. You understand that? But anyway, that's a different topic for another day.
You understand? Do you also know that some of the sexually transmitted diseases that are so popular amongst black people today, there's no record of them having ever existed in Africa. There's no proof of chlamydia in Africa. There's no proof of gonorrhea in Africa. A lot of them diseases came down from Europe through the Black Plague, the Dark Ages, when they were not washing their asses for hundreds of years.
They really historically didn't wash up. That's a fact.
I know that.
Yeah.
We taught them how.
But not only that, but also they were sleeping with animals. And the way that the white man looks now, historically, that's not what he looked like. So we know the white man to be like this. That's what we think he always looked like. But that's not what he looked like. He looked more like this. This is more what he looked like right here. You see all the hair that he has on him? It's kind of like a sloth. You know, if you know anything about sloths, they have bugs and mites and insects and parasites in their fur. This is what the white man looked like. Okay, this is not an exaggeration. Let me see if we can get a different one. Look how he looked. You see that? This is all fur, all on his body. Look, and that's a knight. That's us having to fight them. Can't find any other ones. Is that it for this? Look, I'm telling you, wild people in the margins of late 14th century book of Hours. This is them. This is them. This is what they used to look like. Y'all don't know history, so you don't know what's going on. You think the white man always looked how he looked? No, that comes from us mixing with them, and eventually their hair would come off because they mix with us. Okay? Is that it? Look, this is the coat of arms here. This means that he's a slave of the black men with this coat of arms. Look how he look. The wild man. This is not a myth. This is not a legend. I'm telling you. Look at this motherfucker right here. We used to dress up like this. We used to put fur all over our face and body and dress up like this to as I guess white face or Edomite face, I guess. This is a man. This is a real man. Pedro Gonzalez. That's how he looked. We know Gonzalez is not Mexican. That's Spanish from Spain. He's white. Look at them. I'm telling you, this is what they used to look like. And all those insects, when they came out the mountains, you see, he got a coat of arms here. And look how he looked. When he came out of the mountains, all those diseases that they had festin. Oh, this is a good one, but can we show it? Look, so these are the white folks. Can I blow it up any? No. There you go. These are the white folks that are all hairy. All those squiggly lines is hair, okay? And these are the black people in the castles. We ran Europe. These are the castles in Europe, and we're fighting them. That's why we got the bows and the arrows. There was a war. It wasn't just, oh, the white man came and got us out of Africa, and we was, doing jumps and dancing around fires in the bush. That wasn't what was happening. We brought culture and civilization. And the white man eventually took us over because of the Black Plague. A lot of us died. We were sick, bedridden, and they eventually wiped us out. But all they did was do the same shit that we used to do. That's my whole point. I know it's a tangent, but a lot of people don't know this stuff. I think that's it for that. But these are coat of arms that they have. Just letting you know that they were slaves to that household. I can't click. These were the slaves to the coat of arms. Coat of arms. These are black households, okay? When you see coat of arms, look at this. That means that is the sign, or let's say the flag of that household. And they were black. They were not white, okay, until later on. But the coat of arms, that comes from the black folks. So anyway, let's go back.
We taught them how to wash.
Yes.
This is the thing.
What was Columbus looking for? When Columbus took his sail to the so-called New World, he was looking for India, right?
Right.
But he found the Caribbean.
Yeah.
That's why they call it West Indies, because he thought it was India. He didn't know where he was.
I know Dr. Umar knows that he was not coming to find India. He had a Hebrew speaking person on the ship so that he could speak with the natives over here. Okay? The so-called black man, have been going through the over to the Americas for a long time. The white man knew that. Okay, he wasn't. Where are we at? I'm looking for India. No, that's not what happened. Okay, now he might say some dumb shit like that, but that's not what happened.
Right.
But what was he looking for? Spices. And why did he want spices? Because traditionally in Europe, because they did not wash, they had no concept of soap. They would spice themselves up. Like you soap yourself up, they would spice themselves up. They use spice to suffocate the funk. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
I don't think I'm gonna make it far past this, y'all. I'm just call it the Umar Show. Darken out where my name is and just light them up and we'll watch him. Hey, we wasting time here. You know what I mean? This is what I do to podcast. I can't.
I got a question.
Yes,
You
sir.
got that.
I understand you into like child psychology and stuff, right?
My doctorate is clinical psychology, and I'm a certified school psychologist. So yes, child psychology is my thing.
Okay.
Clinically and educationally.
Right. And so I understand you say white people can't be a part of the movement, and you opening a school with all black kids, right?
Let me clarify.
Oh,
In the state of Delaware, you cannot refuse admission into a school, even if it's independent, on the basis of race.
Okay.
You follow me? That's like you taking your child to a white private school in Newcastle, right? They straight independent.
Yeah.
They don't get no government money, right? Just like us. And they tell you your child can't come here because they're black. It's against state law. So if a white person wants their child at our school, we have to consider them for admission. We cannot exclude based
Okay,
on race.
so
We can make it hard like they do for
No,
us.
so that.
Well, if they want their child learning voodoo, bring them on in there.
So no, listen, that was.
My child won't be learning voodoo. I like the idea of Dr. Umar school, but my child won't be learning voodoo. Okay. What is the purpose of it? Let's just get out of. Let's not even say, oh, it's wicked. We don't even go there. What is the purpose of it? What do I gain as a people by learning voodoo? Because we have a whole nation of people over in Haiti that does it. We have a whole nation of people over in the Dominican Republic that does it. People in the South do it. What is the benefit of worshiping in that philosophy? That's what I want to know. Am I going to free myself? Am I going to get blessings now? Am I not going to get shot in the street? Am I now going to be love my people now? Am I going to love my people because I do voodoo? No. That's just outside of it being wicked. Okay? It's a wicked, idolatrous, pointless, vain custom. We really got to stop with the whole I want to do African stuff. We're not African. And I know that Dr. Umar knows this, that every black person is not from the same bloodline. Because at some point we was all black, right? The first man was black. But that does not mean we're from the same lineage. My people did not start off doing voodoo. We ended up doing it, and that's how we at the bottom of society. Because the one true God of Israel, we didn't want to serve him. We said, nah, I think I'm gonna do what they doing over there. I want to do some voodoo. And we ended up on the bottom and got conquered. It's a pointless curriculum. Now, if you want to do like what do you call that when you do religion study, historical study, religious history or whatnot, I think that's fine. You should know about these different things and why they do it and what they do. But for you to really be worshiping it and having ceremonies and rituals, hell no. Y'all tripping.